Namaste, one and all. On behalf of Arya Samaj Foundation, Medical Guidance and Mind Care Initiative, we welcome you all to this webinar. Before we start the introduction of the speaker, I would like you all to go to a website called menti.com and enter the code. I will also share the link in the chat box now in a moment. So I have shared a link in the chat box. To those who are newly joining, I'll be again sharing after a few moments. So if you click that link, there will be a question posted. The question is, mention few examples of dark moments you or a known person has gone through in life. So either you can click the link sent in the chat box, or you can go to menti.com in your browser in the device which you're using or some other device and enter the code 31924607. So for those who are newly joining, I'll be again posting it in the chat box. So this is a question for the participants. Before we move on to the webinar, mention few examples of dark moments, like, you may be depressed or you may have had anxiety. It could be anything, or even an exam, or even it can be anything for you. It varies with age, it varies with gender, it varies with the place where you're from, the society you are from. So mention a few examples of dark moments you or a known person has gone through. I'll stop the share and I'll go to the website, the menti.com, and present it as a cloud. It will be showing us a word cloud. We will just wait for people to vote. Yes, we are getting answers. So I'm just going to share it. So are you able to view the screen, my screen? So we are getting word cloud. So it says loss of a loved one. Somebody has said my father's death, and whichever is being shown in magnified font or bigger font is answered by several participants. The one which are smaller are answered by a few participants. So I would request all the new joinees for the webinar as well to either use the link in the chat box. I would request Nega ji to share the link once again, or go to menti.com and use the code 31924607. So we'll wait for a few more minutes. We are just getting answers. So it's frustration when somebody was hospitalized, in professional life, sleep deprivation, overthinking, illness, unable to communicate with people, my child's health, failures. Somebody has said even badminton, like when they were in a sport, playing, verbal abuse, when they felt demotivated, hospitalized, betrayal, yes, unsatisfied, anxiety, when they felt there is no use or when they felt worthless, yes, true, loneliness. And when my mom got, they had some issue, and stress, depression, overthinking, illness, hospitalization, frustration are like kind of answered by several people. Abuse, again, fighting until he's dying. Okay. And tension at work, professional life. Recently, when my grandpa died, close one's death, loss of a loved one. So, okay. So, stress, friends avoiding me. So, many are answering now, friends avoiding. Yes. So, those are darker times when friends avoid. Yes. My pet death. Yes. Very true. Very true. Very true. Critical illness, frequent health issues. True. Very true. So, when you undergo frequent health issues, quarreling, and yeah, the fight between friends, when friends avoid me, is like kind of answered by several people. So there are many people who in the present generation feel that friends are avoiding them. Okay. Deserted and failures. You say somebody says you are the worst when they felt that somebody said they were the worst. Max, fear of max. Very true, very true, very true. Fear of subjects, anxiety, exam fear. And my mother, my baby got terminated. Yes. So it varies with age. So yes, not cheated, and then closed one state. Stress, overthinking, friends avoid me, depression. Then somebody said apple. I do not know what's an apple, but still, yeah. And then okay, when they're sexually irritated. Very true, very true. Exams, marks, criticize when they feel criticized. Yes, very true. Yes, when someone hurts you, and then if I am missing something, Jyoti ma'am can just read it out when I'm just missing some word. Pet death, professional life. I think apple is something which is given in that link at the beginning, and so people are just having it. I do not know. Demotivated. And then sleep deprivation when besties ignore me. Yes, and then an unsatisfied sexual life, depression, loneliness, my child's health when you felt cheated. And yes, one more minute and we will just, yeah, yes, loss of a dear one, betrayal. Okay, I think I'll stop sharing. Okay, we're getting some more answers. One more minute. Okay, so ma'am, the speaker of the day, I will just introduce the speaker of the day, and then we will come back to this slide once more after the introduction. And then we will hand over the stage to Jyoti ma'am. So the speaker of the day, Srimati Jyoti, is a counseling psychologist with more than 15 years of experience in the field. She's been associated with several academic institutions, corporate, government organizations, NGOs in and around South India. She's presented on a variety of psychology-related topics at various conferences. And proudly, she's one of the senior consultant counselors of DAV Group of Schools. She's been a great asset for our counseling team. She's the founding member of Yellow Pond Counseling Center, the Tamil Nadu Career Counseling Association. She's a certified mindfulness coach, and she has experience of working as a consultant counselor in several organizations and corporates. Now over to Jyoti ma'am for the session.
Thank you so much, Dr. Preeti, for such a warm introduction. And I saw how many of you were typing words, right? So you had gone through so much, or you had experienced all of that. I would also like to, before I share my screen, I have a question. So how many of you have experienced failure here? You can type, you can raise your hand, you can share. How many of you have? Okay. So many, yes. Would you like to share? If it's okay with you, you can share.
Kindly unmute yourself and please share your views with ma'am.
It can be exam, it can be at work, it can be at home, it can be wherever, right? So it's like Math
There
fail.
is a chat in the box. It's like,
So I can ask, okay, I'll ask this question only for the parents, okay? How many of you have experienced failure in life?
one of them has messaged, ma'am, lonely, overthinking, too much shy nature in social gatherings.
Okay.
And how to come out of betrayal, somebody has messaged. And max fear, one of them has mentioned as max fear, ma'am.
Okay, so this question is for the adults, right? So how many of you have gone, because
Video.
it's not easy, right? It is like, painful.
So can someone who has raised hand would like to share what kind of failure you went through so that ma'am could?
All it can be, now you've overcome it, but you know, but still that, I understand that that was there and I had that failure. Like, you can just unmute and ask.
Ma'am, I am a student. Can I say?
You can.
Yes, like last year, I went for a science exhibition state level. I actually worked very hard for it day and night, putting leaves for my classes. But unfortunately, wasn't able to select for the national level. It was great failure for me, and I got really depressed.
Okay. Okay. So you must have, I mean, right, the next few days or couple of days, you would have felt
Yes,
it.
I wasn't able to come back to normal state
Exactly.
after putting so much of hard work and nothing came out.
Correct. Correct. So can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am. We are able to see your screen, but it shows the Zoom.
Somebody else is sharing it, or
No, ma'am. We are viewing your screen, but we are not seeing the PowerPoint. We are seeing your browser, ma'am.
okay, just give me a second.
One more person has messaged in the chat.
Mhm.
I have faced failure in studies. I worked hard. And another one has told fear on our ability causes procrastination and led to failure at
Okay.
times.
At times. Okay. Okay. So see,
Huh?
okay. Today's topic, this is our second webinar, and we had one last month. It was about suicide prevention. And this is our second webinar, this month being the mental health month. So we, in commemoration, we are doing this topic, resilience, and all of whatever you had mentioned, right? The dark times. We are going to address all of that, right? So this topic is about resilience. So does anyone know what resilience means? Have you heard that word before? What is resilience?
Yes, ma'am.
You have heard?
Yes, ma'am. Resilience is jumping back to normal. We undergo some failure or depression, and we come back to normal within few minutes or few days.
Okay.
Coming back to normal.
Coming back to normal. Is coming back to normal very easy or very difficult?
It's not so easy for everyone, ma'am. But I feel I am a resilient person.
Okay. Very nice to know that, ma'am.
Thank you,
So,
ma'am.
yeah, for some it is not very easy. For some, maybe it is very easy, right? So today we are going to talk about that. How we can embark on a journey and explore the art of building resilience and coping with every day, day in and day out, we have some stressors in our life, right? So how do we come out of it and cope in our daily life, right? Resilience is like, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am. We are able to see your PowerPoint slide.
Fine.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, understanding resilience. Resilience is, it's not like one man was explaining, it is bouncing back, right? So that is one of the definitions. So it is not the strongest of the species that survive, right? If that was true, the dinosaurs would still be existing, right? So it's not the intelligent one, but the most responsive to change, who's able to adapt to change, is the one who survives, right? So what happens if this line is straight? I'm sure all of you would have seen an ECG chart, right? So what happens if that line is straight? Does it mean something? Only if it has ups and downs, it's normal, right? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. If it is a straight line, then it means we are not alive anymore. We are dead, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So, and we also know that, a diamond, we all know, right? A diamond is just a piece of charcoal. And because it has handled the stress really well, beautifully, that's why it has become a precious gem, right? So, what is resilience? Resilience is like a muscle. The more you exercise, the more stronger you're going to become. It's not by, okay, oh, there is a problem, I'll avoid the problem. That is not what resilience is. It is about, facing it, learning from it, and growing stronger. That is what resilience is all about, right? So resilience is a superpower, we can say, right? That helps us to bounce back and navigate challenges with grace, right? Am I with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So let's talk about a few traits of resilience. What are the few traits of resilience here? So before we get into that, I want you.
Sorry for the interruption, ma'am. We would request you to go bilingual if possible.
Sure. Sure. Okay. Okay. So I want you to type or share what is the emotion you're going through right now. நீங்க இப்போ என்ன எமோஷன் உங்களுக்கு வந்து பயம் or fear or happiness என்ன go through பண்றீங்களோ அது இப்போ சொல்லுங்க. It can be any emotion, whatever you're going through now. What is the emotion you're going through?
You can either type in the chat box or unmute and speak to ma'am.
You can just say, right?
Ma'am?
Yeah.
Ma'am, in my exam I learned so hardly. My marks are so low. My teachers are scolding me also, ma'am.
Okay.
I can't get the high marks in the class.
Okay. So when that is happening, what are you going through? Are you feeling scared? Or are you feeling, what is it you're feeling when that is happening?
I feel so badly, ma'am. Everyone has get passed mark. I was so yet again low in marks. I feel badly for me also, ma'am.
So, okay, you feel bad. Okay. So
Sama messaged us blessed, restless, happy, relaxed because tomorrow is a Sunday, but restless too. Yes, ma'am.
okay, restless. Okay, blessed. Yes, yes. Okay, so these are the traits. It's like bouncing back or adapting under pressure. So when I ask, most of it, I want all the participants to talk so that I can help you out, or this becomes an interactive session here, right? So can I hear a few positive emotions? What are some of the positive emotions
Getting the higher marks in the class.
for you? That is okay. Yes. Okay.
Teachers telling good for us. We have to learn more and more in the class. We have to listen all the things in the class.
Okay. Okay.
I'm getting appreciation.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I have my birthday tomorrow. I'm very excited.
Okay. You're excited. Nice.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. What are all the other positive ones? Yes, excitement is a positive emotion, right? Moms and dads,
Yes, ma'am.
Peaceful since I'm in a vacation right now, ma'am.
you're in a vacation right now, so you're happy,
Yes, happy and peaceful.
peaceful. Okay. Okay. Anyone else?
Ma'am, can you tell how to become a learner? How to get good marks in exams?
I will.
Okay, ma'am.
Right? Okay. So anyone else? Okay, we'll come back.
Namaste, ma'am. Can I speak?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Actually, the children told about their marks and everything because they didn't get good marks, so they feel very bad and so many things.
Right.
But as a teacher, what we are thinking, we put more efforts, but we didn't get that much of result. So what the children think, the same way we too think. Oh, where my effort goes, where we went wrong, so many things. So that's a kind of pressure or something, and some. So we can't express the same thing, no? What their children feel, same thing we teachers also feel the same thing.
Correct.
Because parents are putting effort and we teachers are putting efforts, but there is no result means same feeling for us also.
Correct.
Yes, ma'am. So this such type of
Yes,
I express. Yes, ma'am. That's what I would like to tell you.
Whoever thought this was a screen where you can scribble, I'll give you a plain sheet where you can scribble and draw, have fun. So if you can stop scribbling here, that will be helpful for the others, right? So, ma'am, actually what happens here is, I understand you as a teacher, what you're going through. It's not easy, right? It's like very difficult when you put effort and your management is going to question you that there are no results. But we also have to understand that every child is not going to learn the same way, right, ma'am? They have their styles and they come from different backgrounds. We don't know what they are going through, right? So maybe they did not understand at all. So lot of things. It's not just one thing what the child is going through. And same way, you are also going through a lot of emotions. And I understand. But when the child was telling, teacher scold me. Maybe if you call her and talk to her, or in a private place, in a staff room, maybe the child would not feel this bad or this hurt. When it is happening in front of the class, when it's happening, in front of others, is when they feel hurt, when they feel sad. Right? So, yeah, adapting under pressure. And yes, what are the other things here? I put here, right? Having a good relationship, right? Be it your family, be it your friends, right? And emotional flexibility. These are some of the traits of resilience. So I'm going to the next one. Okay. So, Preeti, can I remove all these marks, or there is?
I'm just trying, ma'am. I'm just trying.
Okay. So, yeah, whoever is trying to do this, can we, stop doing that? Okay, so do we really have any benefits for resilience? There are tons of benefits, and lots of research and studies have been going on for finding out if is it really beneficial, for be it for depression, be it for overall well-being of a human being, or be it life satisfaction. For all of these things, there are lots of researches have been done, and it's still going on, right? So what are all these? So is resilience really?
Ma'am, can you kindly share again, ma'am, so that the
Sure. This one, Preeti?
I mean the PPT itself, ma'am, so that these scribblings are not there. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I stop share and then do it again. Is that what it is? Should I stop it and then start again?
Yes, ma'am, of course,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, I'll do that.
We couldn't read the points.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
understand. So some kid is having fun.
Yes.
Is this okay now?
Yes, ma'am, it's clear
Yes,
now.
ma'am. Pakka, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. So these are the traits of resilience. So I will share it with you. Whoever needs it, you can get it from the number we will be sharing with you. So the benefits, there are tons of benefits, and I will talk about not everything, but at least a few I want you to understand, right? Resilience, is resilience going to be helpful for people with depression? Definitely, yes. Resilience plays a significant role in managing or sometimes preventing depression. Somebody was telling, right, I'm a very resilient person. So it's not, they will not get into depression that easily, but I am if somebody says something to me, I feel very hurt, I feel very sad, I cannot come out of it. I think about it. I had a call a few days back where this person, somebody has told something like 6 years back, but that person is unable to come out of it. Right? So there are people like that. Oh, it happened in my childhood. It happened, so many years back. So preventing depression can, and resilience helps in preventing depression also. Depression can be very challenging in a person's life, right? But adapting to resilience, what can happen is you can this acts as a protective factor. How does it act as a protective factor, resilience, right? So when you have this positive coping mechanism, or when you're having this, when you're adapting yourself to that stress, or optimizing, or emotional regulation, all of this helps, with depression, coming out of depression. So resilience and mental health, how is this? There is a significant correlation for this with positive mental health. People who are resilient and have a positive mental health don't get into all of the other mental health illnesses. Okay? Resilience and well-being. What is resilience and well-being? Resilience and well-being are interconnected concepts, right? By cultivating resilience, what happens? You significantly contribute to the overall well-being. So when I ask you, how are you all feeling? So, okay, like, right? I ask you, how are you doing today? What will you say? How are you all?
எல்லாரும் எப்படி ஃபீல் பண்றீங்கங்கறத you can tell me.
யாராவது ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் கேட்கும்போது நம்ம என்ன சொல்லுவோம்? ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் உங்களை பார்த்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் பார்க்கும்போது நீங்க கேட்பீங்க இல்லையா, எப்படி இருக்கீங்கன்னு கேட்போம் இல்லையா? சோ அதுக்கு என்ன ஆன்சர் சொல்லுவீங்க?
Fine, we are fine.
Fine, we are doing fine. Correct. What else? What else?
I'm good. I'm good.
Fine. Correct. Right? These are the answers. Because whether we like, even if you are not feeling well, sometimes you can. But if you ask a person in the 40s or 50s, right? How are you feeling? எப்படி இருக்கீங்க? ஒரு 40-50 வயசு அவங்ககிட்ட போய் கேட்டோம்னா அவங்க என்ன சொல்லுவாங்க?
ஏதோ இருக்கும்.
எக்ஸாக்ட்லி, ரைட்? ஏதோ இல்லைன்னா என்ன சொல்லுவாங்க? நல்லாதான் இருக்கேன், பட் ஆனா அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஏதாவது ஒரு எலிமெண்ட்டையும் சேர்த்து சொல்லுவாங்க இல்லையா? ஓகே, சோ இஃப் யூ உங்களுக்கு பயங்கரமா லோவர் பேக் பெயின் இருக்கு, அப்ப எப்படி சொல்லுவீங்க? நல்லாதான் இருக்கேன், பட் இந்த பெயின் மட்டும் எனக்கு முடியல என்னால. கரெக்ட்? வி ஆல்வேஸ் ஆட் தட், கரெக்ட்? ஆனா எல்லாமே வெறும் பிசிக்கல் இல்னஸ் வச்சு மட்டும்தான் வெதர் ஐ எம் குட் ஆர் ஐ எம் ஹாப்பின்னு சொல்லுவோம். It is never with all the other things, correct? It is always about my physical health, right? That's why I said your overall well-being is very, very important. So when you're cultivating resilience, it significantly contributes to the overall well-being of the human being. And it emphasizes individuals to face life's challenges. So நம்ம ரெசிலியண்டா நம்ம இருக்கும்போது நமக்கு வர லைஃப்ல வர கஷ்டங்களை வந்து ஈஸியா எதிர்கொள்றதுக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்ணும். Okay, how to stay strong, how to have a higher state of well-being, right? Resilience and life satisfaction. இங்க எத்தனை பேர் வந்து நீங்க டெய்லி காலையில எந்திரிச்ச உடனே ஓகே I'm very happy because எனக்கு இதெல்லாம் இருக்கு அப்படின்னு எத்தனை பேர் கிரேட்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கீங்க?
Ma'am.
To be honest, no one, ma'am. எங்கேயோ ஏதோ ஒண்ணு குறையுதுன்றதான் we used to think.
So நமக்கு நம்ம கேட்கும் போதே வந்து are you happy, do you have everything? First நம்ம இருக்கிறத மறந்துடுவோம், but we always talk about what we don't have.
What we are not having.
Yes, what
we focus on that one.
Exactly, what we don't have. Because again, resilience and life satisfaction is also connected with each other, correct? நமக்கு should we be grateful? Yes, we have to be extremely grateful for whatever we have. But are we grateful? Do we thank for what we have? Yes?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, sir?
Ma'am, actually, what I feel is after Corona, the kids are more addicted to the mobile.
Yes, sir.
So the depression is coming there and the fluctuation when we are asking them to hand over the mobile.
Yes.
Okay. This is what, because most of the classes and everything has been forwarded through the online.
Okay. So you're trying to say that majority of the kids are
fluctuation and depression is getting up.
Okay. So okay, yes, it definitely Corona had done a lot of damage, but it has done a lot of good things also, right, sir? So I mean, கொரோனால தான் நீங்க எல்லாருமே வீட்ல இருந்தீங்க, எல்லாருமே க்ளோஸா இருந்தீங்க ஃபேமிலியோட, கரெக்ட்? So good things and bad things definitely happens. I agree with your point. So I wanted to talk about elements, ஒரு 15 elements பத்தி இன்னைக்கு பேசலாம். ரெசிலியன்ஸ் ஓட 15 elements எப்படி இதை நீங்க உங்களுடைய லைஃப்ல நீங்க இன்டர்கேட் பண்ணிக்கணும்ங்கிறத பற்றி தான் இன்னைக்கு நம்ம பேச போறோம், கரெக்ட்? சோ நமக்கு நிறைய பேருக்கு வந்து ஒரு இம்பல்ஸ் இருக்கும்ல, ஒருத்தரை பார்த்த உடனே ஏதாவது சொல்லணும், ஏதாவது செய்யணும், ஏன்னா என்ன அவங்க ஹர்ட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க, அதனால நான் திருப்பி அவங்களை ஹர்ட் பண்ணணும், கரெக்ட்? தட் இஸ் வெரி நேச்சுரல் ஃபார் எனி ஹியூமன் பீயிங், கரெக்ட்? ஹவ் மெனி ஆஃப் யூ திங்க் ஒருத்தவங்களை ஃபர்கிவ் பண்றது ஈஸியா கஷ்டமா?
Forgiving is very difficult, ma'am.
Very difficult, right? Yes, it is very difficult. So you see one person, somebody who's done, something to you and you feel very hurt. And the next time you see that person, we will all have that impulse, right? ஏதாவது சொல்லணும்னு தோணும், இதை ஏதாவது செய்யணும்னு தோணும். It can be, it's not, it might not be kind to the other person, correct? Right? Yeah.
Yes,
So resilience is not about, oh, you should not have that. And the thoughts say varakuradu is not resilience, right? So yes, you will have that thoughts. You will have that impulses. So what should I, how do I stop acting or for every impulse in my life? So எல்லாத்துக்கும் போய் நான் ரியாக்ட் பண்ண முடியாது இல்லையா? So you have to pick your fights. You have to, okay, நான் இதுக்கு நான் சொல்லியே ஆகணும், பட் இந்த மிச்சத்துக்கெல்லாம் நான் சொல்லாம இருக்கலாம். அதுக்கு ஒரு 4 steps ஃபாலோ பண்ணணும். என்ன எப்படி ஃபாலோ பண்ணணும்? There are 4 steps. First one is stop. Now stop doing whatever you're doing, and the next one is think. First one is stop. Next is think. நம்ம வந்து என்ன சொல்ல போறோம், என்ன செய்ய போறோம். It can be கிட்ஸுக்கு கூட, ஓகே, என்ன இந்த கிட் அடிச்சுட்டான், அதனால நான் போய் திருப்பி அடிச்சே ஆகணும். அவன் என்ன ஏதோ சொல்லிட்டு அதனால நான் திருப்பி அதை விட ஹர்ட்ஃபுல்லா சொல்லியே ஆகணும். கரெக்ட்? It can be, it's very natural for anybody. Correct? So first stop doing whatever you're doing. And the second is think. What am I, what that action is going to be? What am I going to say something, or am I going to do something? And then you decide if that situation, நீங்க அதை அடிக்கிறதுனாலயோ இல்ல சொல்றதுனாலயோ அந்த சிச்சுவேஷன் பெட்டர் ஆயிடுமா இல்ல வேர்ஸ் ஆக போறது. So think. First is stop, think, and then decide, right? Then you choose the behavior that is going to make the situation better. Correct? Because you continue doing whatever it is only going to make the situation worse. Yes, clear?
Your slides aren't moving, ma'am. Are you?
I have not moved it yet.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So now can you see?
Yes, ma'am. Now we are able to see.
Okay. So I have split my elements, right? I told you ஒரு 15 elements பத்தி மட்டும் தான் நாம இன்னைக்கு பார்க்க போறோம். So 15 elements நான் மூணா ஸ்ப்ளிட் பண்ணிருக்கேன். I have, I am, I can. I've split it. Okay. So we will see that one by one. Okay. So can somebody ask, or I'm going to ask you one question. So what are you grateful for? நான் எனக்கு இது இருக்கு, அதனால நான் ரொம்ப தேங்க்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கேன். I'm very happy because I have this. Can you start answering? I have this, so I am very grateful. It can be very
A secured home.
A secured home. Yes, it can be very simple. It can be anything you have. I have it, so I'm grateful.
The chat box says, I am alive, myself, my family, my mom, my parents, my mother.
Exactly. Right? So we will go to, yes, you have to be. So this is for the I have. I split everything into 5. Okay. So I have people around me I trust. Correct? You should be grateful for that, right? And I have people who love me. இங்க நிறைய கிட்ஸ் இருக்கீங்க இல்லையா? So when people are, வீட்டுல அம்மா அப்பா வந்து பவுண்டரி செட் பண்ணுவாங்க. உங்களுக்கு அது பிடிக்கவே பிடிக்காது. Because 6 o'clock வீட்டுக்கு வா, இல்ல ஹோம்ஒர்க் பண்ணு, போன் யூஸ் பண்ணாத, கேட்ஜெட் ரொம்ப யூஸ் பண்ணாத அப்படின்னு then they are correcting, which means they are setting limits. They are keeping a boundary for you. இன்னைக்கு அது ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருக்கும். But be very, very grateful and be happy. Because there are so many, nobody sets a limit for them, and they are all the losers. So if there is somebody who wants to correct you, be happy that you have somebody in your life who's setting the limit for you. Correct? And I have people who shows me to do the right thing, right? Positive role modeling. If you are a parent, you have to remember your kids are watching you. Your kids are copying you. நீங்க என்ன சொல்றீங்களோ அதைதான் உங்க பசங்க போய் வெளியில சொல்லுவாங்க. நீங்க என்ன பண்றீங்களோ, நீங்க ப்ரீச் நீங்க சொல்லிட்டே இருந்தா, ஓகே நீ படிக்கணும், நீ போன் பண்ணாத, நீ போன் யூஸ் பண்ணாத அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டே இருக்கிறத வந்து யாருமே காப்பி பண்ண மாட்டாங்க. பட் ஆனா நீங்க என்ன பண்றீங்களோ அதான் காப்பி பண்ணுவாங்க. So please be aware that you are the role model. So please have the positive role modeling at home. Correct? And I have people who want me to learn and do things. எனக்கு நீயே ட்ரை பண்ணு, வரலன்னா நான் ஹெல்ப் பண்றேன் அப்படின்னு அம்மா சொன்னாங்கன்னா, be happy, right? You should be grateful that they are trying to help you grow. Correct? I have people I can, when obviously, right, whoever is sick, if you've been sick for more than 2 weeks or 3 weeks, then you will know, right? I'm sure you all have friends, but majority of the time, it's the parents who are there for you. Anybody can be friends also, right? So I have people who are caring. I have people who are involved. I have good friends who I can rely on. Correct? When I am sick, when I'm in danger, when I say, I need to learn, I need to get help from my friends, right? So please be happy and please be grateful. இவங்கெல்லாம் உங்க லைஃப்ல இருக்காங்க அப்படின்னா நீங்க அவங்களுக்கு தேங்க் பண்ணணும். நீங்க அவங்களோட ஓகே யூ ஆர் தேர் ஃபார் மீ அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு, ரைட்? பட் ஐ வில் கம் டு த நெக்ஸ்ட் ஒன். ஐ வில் கம் டு தட் ஸ்டோரி லிட்டில் லேட்டர், ரைட்? ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இஸ் ஐ ஹேவ். கரெக்டா? இது வந்து ஐ ஆம். ஸோ உங்களுக்கு இருக்கிறதுக்கு தேங்க் பண்ற மாதிரி. த நெக்ஸ்ட் ஒன் இஸ் ஐ ஆம் அ பர்சன். நான் ஐ ஆம் லைக்கபிள், ஐ ஆம் லவபிள். உங்களுக்கு எப்படி இருக்காங்களோ நீங்க அதே மாதிரி அடுத்தவங்களுக்கு.
Empathetic, I'm lovable.
Pardon me? So okay, so I am glad, I am a person who loves to help others. Are you empathetic? Because one teacher was telling, right? So it can be office, it can be school, it can be at home. You don't know what the child is going through. You don't know what kind of background the child is coming from. So are we empathetic? But current generation don't know what empathy is. So அது யாருடைய வேலை? எம்பத்தினா என்ன? அடுத்தவங்களுடைய கஷ்டத்தை நம்ம புரிஞ்சுக்கிறோம். தட்ஸ் வை இப்போ நீங்க ரீசெண்ட் டைம்ஸ்ல நீங்க ரோட்ல ஆக்சிடென்ட்ஸ் பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் திங் என்ன பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க ஆக்சுவலி ரோட்ல?
Recording it in the phone.
Recording. What were we doing when we were young?
Helping out them, getting an ambulance.
Exactly. Why are the kids doing it now? So who is responsible for that? Is the child responsible, or are the adults, or we as citizens, we are responsible for not, teaching them what empathy is? Correct? நம்ம எம்பத்தினா என்னன்னே சொல்லி கொடுக்கல இல்லையா? So when we are, they are addicted to their mobiles and they are addicted to the games where they, shooting is fun, shooting is going to get points. அப்போ அவங்க அந்த பிளட் பார்த்து அந்த எத்தனை பேரை ஷூட் பண்ணா அத்தனை பாயிண்ட்ஸ் எனக்கு வருங்கிறவங்களுக்கு அப்போ எம்பத்தி எப்படி வரும் இல்லையா? So empathy, sometimes, empathy can be taught. Empathy should be taught to kids, correct? And I am respectful of myself. First நான் என்ன ரெஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ணணும் இல்லையா? அப்புறம் தான் others என்ன ரெஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ணுவாங்க. First I respect myself and I respect others, right? And I am willing to take the responsibility. How many of us, accept readily I'm wrong அப்படின்னு?
There is a comment in the chat box that not all kids or adults are like that when you were speaking about not being empathetic. So
right. Yes, definitely not. I'm not talking about all, right? But if you notice, when ma'am said everybody, she's seeing that recording is happening and all of those things are happening, right? The percentage is very high is what I'm trying to say. And that percentage should be very low. So it is our duty. I'm not stating it as a, it's a comment where we should all take responsibility. All the adults here, we have to teach our kids and train our kids that you should not be teaching them how to be selfish, right? We should be teaching them how to be nice to others, how to share, எல்லாம் உனக்கு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வச்சுக்கோன்னு சொல்லாம, நீங்க ஸ்நாக் கொடுத்து அனுப்பினா கூட ப்ளீஸ் ஷேர் இட் வித் யுவர் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ். ஒரு கிட் கொண்டு வரலன்னா learn to share is what we should be teaching, right? So I'm sure everything will be all right. That is what resilience is about. Yes, I'm going through a dark phase. Yes, I am not happy, but everything will be fine. Correct? So the first one was I have, and the next 5 is I am, and the last one is I can, right? So I can talk about, like you are all talking, right? I have a problem. You are so open when you are talking about your dark times, right? You did not hesitate because you are going through and you're okay to talk about it and get help, correct? So I need to learn to consult and I need to get, it can be, sometimes it can be your friend, it can be your parents, it can be your teacher, whoever you trust, right? So find ways to solve the problem. Yes, I'm having a problem. How do I solve the problem? Correct? In a problem is the problem. But I appreciate that child who, very boldly was telling, can you please tell me how to score more marks? Because that is what she is going through, right? I'm sure her parents are yelling or teachers are yelling, and she's also feeling very low. So she's getting help there, right? Control myself when I feel like doing something not right or dangerous, right? Now, if you notice, suicide has become a very common term. And okay, instead of, trying all of those things, I have negative thoughts. I have overwhelming thoughts. Then what do I do? Right? Like, Mindcare is doing an amazing job. பிரச்சனை இருக்கு அப்படின்னா அங்க ஒரு செட் ஆஃப் கவுன்சிலர்ஸ் இருக்காங்க. You call them, get help so that, I can come out of it. How can I come out of it positively? Not stuck there, correct? and I can figure out it is good time to talk to someone or take action, right? How do I make decision, do or get help from somebody? It can be a mentor, right? And how many of you here are adults? Like we have a lot of adults here, right? So we always blame the youngsters, right? நீங்க எல்லாரும் மூவி ஸ்டார்ஸ் பின்னாடி போறீங்க, மூவி கரெக்ட், நீங்க அவங்கள போய் ரோல் மாடலா வச்சிருக்கீங்க. So how many of us, I cannot blame the kids because they don't, who do they follow? Who do they, accept as a mentor? Are we ready to mentor them? They are ready to accept, but are we ready? Right? So we have to be ready to mentor our kids, right? So the reason they are going there is because they don't find. How many of you have seen Abdul Kalam's interviews? How many of you have listened to Abdul Kalam's interviews?
A few are putting in the chat box, like they have listened.
They have listened, right? So he mentions one name in every single interview. He always mentions one name. Can you tell who that person is? He always, mentions that name. If not for him, I'm not here. He always says that.
Teachers, ma'am.
Teachers. But one name particularly, ma'am, he always tells teachers, but ஒரு பேரை அவர் கண்டிப்பா எல்லா இன்டர்வியூலையும் சொல்லுவாரு. அவர் இல்லைன்னா நான் இல்லை.
Science teacher, I think so.
No, he calls him as a mentor. அவர் இல்லைன்னா நான் இல்லை அப்படின்னு ஒரு mentor.
Somebody has messaged as Vikram Sarabhai, Subramaniam.
Exactly, Vikram Sarabhai. He always tells that name in every single interview. If not for Vikram Sarabhai, I'm not there. So next time go to the interviews and say, because see, he had such an amazing, Abdul Kalam was Abdul Kalam because of his teachers, because of his mentors, right? But who do this generation have as mentors? Are we mentoring them, right? So this is for all adults, right? You are, so sometimes, your own kids, you cannot be the mentors, but it is okay. You can, be a mentor for somebody else. You only if you do the, the child should come, I want to get help, sir, or I want to get help from you, uncle. So are we ready to mentor? Right? So that's what I've said. Like, seek help. Where will they go seek help? If they don't even know who's ready to help them. Correct? So we have to take, we have to start doing all of those things. I would come to the next. So far, okay? Or if you have any questions, doubts?
Mentoring na enna அப்படிங்கறது you can also tell in Tamil for them, some people.
இப்போ mentoringனா, so நீங்க வந்து எனக்கு ஹெல்ப் வேணும், எனக்கு வந்து நெக்ஸ்ட் நான் என்ன படிக்கணும்னு எனக்கு தெரியல. உங்களுக்கு எல்லாருக்குமே உங்க ஸ்கூல்ல ஒரு டீச்சர் இருப்பாங்க இல்லையா, ஒரு ஃபேவரட் டீச்சர் இருப்பாங்க, இல்லை உங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப பிடிச்ச டீச்சர். அந்த மேம் கிட்ட போய் நான் என்னன்னாலும் கேட்கலாம், என்ன ஹெல்ப் வேணாலும். ஒன்லி சப்ஜெக்ட் கிடையாது. பிசிக்ஸ் டீச்சரா இருந்தாலும் பிசிக்ஸ் இல்லாம எனக்கு மேம் எனக்கு நெக்ஸ்ட் எனக்கு எந்த குரூப் எடுக்கணும்னு தெரியல, எனக்கு கொஞ்சம் ஹெல்ப் பண்றீங்களா, ஏன் அந்த குரூப் எடுத்தா எனக்கு பெட்டரா இருக்கும். லைக் இட்ஸ் ஜஸ்ட் ஃபார் சப்ஜெக்ட்ஸ் ஐம் டாக்கிங் அபவுட், ரைட்? ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ரோல் மாடல். It can be your own father or mother, or it can be your, relative. It can be your teacher. It can be anyone. Correct? Sometimes, உங்களை விட சின்னவங்க கூட உங்களுக்கு மென்டரா இருக்கும். Right? So always have a mentor. எனக்கு அவங்க தான் ரோல் மாடல். ரோல் மாடல்னு சொல்லுவோம் இல்லையா, அவங்கள தான் மென்டர். அவங்கள மாதிரி நான் ஆகணும்னா நான் என்ன பண்ணுறேன், என்ன எஃபர்ட் எடுப்பேன். Correct?
Exact word is inspiration, ma'am.
Yes, inspiration. But inspiration is also a word. But the other thing is, ma'am, so Vikram Sarabhai was an inspiration plus a mentor. He would correct. He would, if you are wrong, so the mentor will correct you also. So now I won't get hurt. See, ஒரு kid சொன்னாங்க இல்லையா, அந்த டீச்சர் என்ன ஸ்கோல் பண்ணிட்டே இருக்காங்க, அதனால I feel hurt. But when a mentor scolds you or corrects you, you won't feel hurt. Okay, you know what, I have to do better. I should take it. They usually take it in a positive way and correct themselves. Right?
Thank you.
Yeah, so we did. Now, 15 elements சொல்லி கொடுத்தேன் இல்லையா, I have, I am, I can. So இத வந்து the next, இந்த 5 C's ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கோங்க. Okay, the 5 C's of resilience. இது பாத்தீங்கன்னா அப்படியா, இதான் ரெசிலியன்ட்டா அப்படின்னு உங்களுக்கு ஈஸியா புரியும். Okay? Okay, connection. Right? So I'm telling you, you should be very close with your family members and friends. You should have a good connection, network. Correct? So another problem in the generation, when you pathina, the biggest lie we tell our generation, the next generation, is be independent. majority of us, right? Be independent, be self-sufficient. நீங்க யாரையும் நம்பி இருக்காதீங்க. You don't need anyone. You will be fine. எல்லாமே okay. So we have taught them a lot of self அந்த மாதிரி சொல்லி கொடுத்து, correct? But we are human beings, right? We don't work that way, and we are not designed that way also. All of you agree to that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Yes, okay. So we are designed for to be connected. We are designed to have connection. We are designed to be codependent, not independent, right? We are actually designed to love each other. We are designed to be how do I put that, right? It's like ஒரு proverb சொல்லுவாங்க இல்லையா தமிழ்ல, ஒரு குழந்தைய வந்து ஒரு 5-6 பேர் சேர்ந்துதான் வளர்க்க முடியும் அப்படின்னு. The old proverb, right? In villages and all, you need 5 to 6 people to raise a child. That's a proverb, right? But that was true, and they followed it. So why? Because that was how much of emotional connection that was required for the child. Correct? Have you heard that proverb, anyone?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes, you have all heard of it, right? So now, but what are we doing right now? We are living in a hyper-independent society. We don't need anybody. We don't need, even to raise the child. And that's why the child goes through so much, emotionally, they are not, it's not enough for that child. They're not satisfied, right? So that is very, very individualistic. And the other thing is, you'll be fine. It's like self-improvement or self-esteem, self-regulation. It's always about self, right? We've overdone self, correct? And what happens is, or failure vanda koda, they think that is it. That is the end of life. So that is not how it is supposed to be. Be solo is not what it is, right? You need to be connected. You need to have friends. You need to be having family, correct?
Ma'am?
Yeah.
Ma'am, I am Pavitra, ma'am, from 8B.
Okay.
Ma'am, I have family from friends. I do not have friends in my class. Some friends are not. I'm not having friends from 5th standard.
Okay.
I don't have 5th standard friends and till 8th standard.
So you don't have friends for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay. I know that must be very difficult for you, right, Pavitra? So
Yes, ma'am.
yes, I understand. But at least, be close to family, right? But you will definitely make new friends, right? New kids will come and start talking. Just go say hello to everybody in the, when you enter the classroom, say good morning to everyone. Slowly you will start making friends. You don't have to have like 200 friends, right? At least 1 or 2 good friends you should have. Correct?
Yes, ma'am. Some friends are hate me or not talk to me. Some friends are not able to sit with me. That's hurting to us, ma'am.
I understand, Pavitra. I understand that must be very, very difficult for you. So I will definitely help you. If you stay back, I will talk to you and help you. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah. So please, that is what the entire generation is going through. So she's just an example, right?
One more comment in the chat box, ma'am. Being a single kid, my son seldom makes friends, says don't wish to depend, and sometimes accept no reciprocation. It hurts to hear, as I was a single kid, and he goes through an even more solitary, individualistic lifestyle. Most of the people he speaks to are elderly staff.
Right. Yeah. See, that is again, it's becoming very, very normal. Ma'am, whoever has written that, so at least involve in community, and that's my second point. Involve in community and social activities, right? So I would tell, go volunteer. Take your son, and if your son is above, in grade 6 and above, they are good enough, right, to go volunteer for at least 1 hour in 1 week. They do make friends. It can be the community you live in, or it can be the closest government school from your place, right? Anga poi volunteer பண்ணும்போது, they will automatically, right, they won't have friends in the class, but it is okay. At least in that area, at least in the place, they will have some friends, right? So the sense of belonging and sense of connectedness, right? So that this is the sad part I'm seeing in this entire generation, because they are they are all on social media. They are all connected. அவங்க எல்லாருக்கும் நிறைய ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் இருக்காங்க, more than 200 friends on social media. But நான் யாருக்காவது ஃபோன் பண்ணி பேசணும் அப்படின்னா ஒரு ரியல் ஃப்ரெண்ட் கூட அவங்களுக்கு, ரைட்? ஸோ ஐ ஆல்வேஸ் டெல், டாக் டு ரியல் பீப்புள். உங்களுக்கு உங்க ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸோட பேசணும் அப்படின்னா டைப் பண்ணாதீங்க, சாட் பண்ணாதீங்க, ஃபோன் எடுத்து, பெட்டர் இஸ் ஃபேஸ் டு ஃபேஸ், நேர்ல போய் பார்த்து பேசுறது. அது முடியலன்னா எடுத்து ஃபோன் எடுத்தாவது பேசுறது, பிகாஸ் யூ ஹாவ் டு பி with real people. Connection should be with real people, not with people online, not with strangers online. Correct? So that is the first C, which is connection. Next is communication. Right? எத்தனை பேருக்கு இங்க you struggle even as adults. நான் இதுதான் நினைக்கிறேன், பட் ஆனா அது கரெக்டா என்னால சொல்ல முடியும். Is that a common problem?
Ma'am, the main problem is மத்தவங்க என்ன நினைப்பாங்களோன்றதுலயே நம்ம சொல்ல சொல்ல மாட்டேன்றோம். என்னை பத்தி தப்பா நினைச்சிருவாங்களோ அப்படிங்கறதே சரியா இருக்கும். பட் அதை சொல்றதுக்கு எக்ஸ்பிரஸ் பண்றதுக்கு we are hesitating many times.
நீங்க அடல்ட்டா இருக்கும்போதே இவ்வளவு கஷ்டமா இருந்தா அப்ப கிட்ஸா
Definitely, ma'am. Definitely, ma'am.
right? So communicate again. See, I'm like, do you have the ability to share or explain, explore, and understand? Don't even know how to express what we are going through. Right? So when they come to us and they tell us, எனக்கு ஒரு மாதிரி இருக்கு, that's all they can tell. What is that emotion? The reason I asked you for what are, type some emotions was for this. என்ன emotion go through பண்றாங்கன்னே அவங்களுக்கு சொல்ல தெரியும். They're always ஒரு மாதிரி இருக்கு is what they can tell. Happy they can tell. But positive emotions need
places it goes as domination also, ma'am.
Okay, who dominates?
Like few children who are very good in communication, no ma'am, they try to dominate the others. So these children, they just don't try to even come out with their problems.
Correct. That is true, right? So that's what I'm telling. We have to, learn and build all of these things. First one is connection, and the second one is communication. At least start now. At least.
How do we overcome that? மத்தவங்க என்ன பத்தி என்ன நினைப்பாங்க அப்படிங்கறத எப்படி overcome பண்ணி communicate better பண்ண முடியும் மேம்?
Okay, see, மத்தவங்க என்ன பத்தி என்ன நினைக்கிறாங்க is their problem, right? Why do you care about what others? First, that's I remember mentioning that point, right? You have to love yourself first. Only then you can like anybody else. Right? Once you believe this is what I am, நிறைய பேருக்கு bullying நடக்கும். It can be in office, it can be anywhere, right? So I don't know, I don't understand. You have to, first believe that this is what I am. You are, I am enough. It can be color, it can be, your body, your shape, whatever it is. I am enough by the way I am. So then it becomes easy because you have not accepted yourself first. That is why அவங்க என்ன நினைச்சிருவாங்க. Right? So what others think is their problem. What you want to say, you can, you have to learn how to communicate, or you can learn to communicate in such a way you're not hurting that person and you're not, keeping it inside and hurting yourself. Right? You have to, politely tell them that whatever you're doing is hurting. So today I was in one school, okay? So one the fourth standard kids are very, very young kids. Right? This kid is very new to the school. And the school வந்திருக்க kid வந்து இன்னொரு ஸ்கூல் அதே ஸ்கூல்ல இருக்க kid போய் I want to become your friend. உங்க பேர் என்ன அப்படின்னு கேட்டதுக்கு the other kid slapped her. See, you are so dark, I cannot be your friend because I am very fair. போய் உங்க பேச போய் நீங்க பெயிண்ட் பண்ணிட்டு வந்தாதான் நான் உங்க ஃப்ரெண்டா இருக்க முடியும் அப்படின்னு ஒரு fourth standard kid சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. But that kid who was dark did not, cry or feel sad. She just politely told the other child, I just wanted to be your friend because you don't have any friends. I have a lot of friends, right? But இதே வந்து அந்த kid வந்து I mean, I'm so happy for that child because even at fourth standard, she is able to say what she wanted to say, correct? Otherwise, what happens is that kid would be crying. இல்லைன்னா வீட்டுக்கு போயிட்டு நான் இனிமேல் ஸ்கூலுக்கே போக மாட்டேன் என்ன இப்படி சொல்லிட்டாங்க அப்படின்னு. Right? I have enough friends. If you want friends, I'm here for you. And today, this happened 6 months back. But today, actually, they are very, very good friends. So I saw them both, and I saw both of them walking together. They were telling we are very good friends now. So at least express in such a way, at least you are not hurt, the other person is also not hurt. Correct? So, and first understand, you have to have an understanding, and only then you can communicate. Correct? And make the right judgment. It is not, sometimes it's very difficult. You can't just say whatever you feel like, right? So you have to understand and make the right judgment and then say whatever is right and act. Correct? What was the first C? What was
Connection.
Connection.
The second C is communication. Correct? The third C is confidence. So where will the kids learn confidence from?
From his mothers and teachers.
mothers and teachers, right? So I appreciate you, dear, because you are telling, no, you're coming forward and telling. So you have to, and that's why I was telling the parents, they learn everything from you. So you have to be confident and you have to see, you have to be positive. Many times you get to think, be positive, be positive. Be positive alone is not enough. Being realistic is also very, very important. Right? So you have to be realistic. ஏன்னா சம்டைம்ஸ் இப்போ ஒரு கிட் சொன்னாங்கன்னா எல்லாரும் பாஸ் ஆயிட்டாங்க, எல்லாரும் நல்ல மார்க்ஸ் வாங்கிட்டாங்க, நான் மட்டும் ரொம்ப லோ மார்க்ஸ் வாங்கியிருக்கேன். ஸோ ஓகே, உனக்கு 40 மார்க்ஸ் தான் வந்திருக்கு அப்படின்னா, ஸோ இட்ஸ் ஓகே, நெக்ஸ்ட் டைம் I will aim, I'll become 80 on 80. அப்படி 80 on 80 வாங்க வேண்டாம். You be realistic. Some from 40, I'll try my best. I'll give 100% and get 50 next time or 60 next time. So அங்க இருந்து நீங்க போங்க. Be realistic but be confident. கரெக்ட். 40ல இருந்து நான் 80 எடுத்தே ஆகும் நெக்ஸ்ட் டைம் படிச்சீங்கன்னா நீங்க 80 வரலன்னா யூ ஃபீல் லோ அகேன். Right? So you have to be confident but at the same time realistic. Accurate sense of your abilities. Okay? And learn from your mistakes. I always tell you, நீங்க தப்பு பண்ணினாதான் உங்களால கத்துக்க முடியும். Correct? But you should not repeat the same mistake. You can make a lot of mistakes but never repeat the mistakes. Correct? And yes?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. And visualize your goals. See, lot of kids, இப்போ நான் கேட்டேன்னா உங்களுக்கு என்ன ஆகணும் அப்படின்னு நீங்க எல்லாம் சொல்லுவீங்க. ஓகே, எனக்கு டாக்டர் ஆகணும், எனக்கு இது ஆகணும், எனக்கு அது ஆகணும், வாட் எவர் யூ வாண்டட் டு பிகம். கரெக்ட். பட் 10 இயர்ஸ்ல நீங்க என்னவா இருப்பீங்க அப்படின்னா, 12 இயர்ஸ் நீங்க என்னவா இருப்பீங்கன்னு கேட்டா they go blank. அவங்களுக்கு தெரியாது சொல்லுங்க. So you have a long-term goal and then you have the short-term goal also. But இன்னைக்கு what is your goal? You should know that also. Right? You should be able to visualize. Okay, நான் இப்போ டாக்டர் ஆகணும்னு நினைச்சா 10 years I will be a doctor. I will be doctor whoever. Correct? Yeah. So you have to have the confidence. Like the same point I have repeated here because that point is so important, right? You have to believe in yourself first. Then you automatically become confident. நீங்க உங்களை நம்பினாதான் you can be confident. Then you can try for the other people. Correct? First focus on yourself. Okay. Now, can we repeat what was the first C?
Connection.
Second C?
Communication.
Third was?
Confidence.
And the fourth one is competence and commitment. Okay. So, here again, I would want to ask another, leave all of this and we'll ask coping mechanism. So, what is positive coping mechanism or negative coping mechanism? நீங்க கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கீங்களா? கோப்பிங் மெக்கானிசம் அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு வேர்டு.
எப்படி அதை தாண்டி வர்றதா இல்ல சமாளிச்சு வர்றதா?
கோப்பிங் மெக்கானிசம்ங்கிறது எப்படி எனக்கு ஒரு பிரச்சனை இருக்கு, நான் எப்படி அதை தாண்டி நான் வெளியில வர போறேங்கிறது தான் கோப்பிங் மெக்கானிசம். கரெக்ட்? ஸோ ஆர் மேபி நான் இதை முடிச்சுட்டு நான் அதையும் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணிடுறேன் அவங்களுக்கு. ஸோ பிகாஸ் திஸ் இஸ் தி fourth C, competence and commitment. Like I told, look at the bigger picture. இன்னைக்கு இந்த சின்ன things எல்லாத்தையும் விட்டுட்டு இன்னைக்கு என் அம்மா திட்டாங்க, பட் ஆக்சுவலி நீங்க என்ன பண்ணீங்கிறது மறந்துருப்பீங்க. அம்மா திட்டினது மட்டும் ஞாபகம் இருக்கும், டீச்சர் திட்டினது மட்டும் ஞாபகம் இருக்கும். பட் நம்ம என்ன பண்ணினோம், we will completely forget, right? You have to look at the bigger picture for everyone, even as adults. நம்ம சின்ன திங்ஸை மட்டும் பிடிச்சிட்டு இது பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம், right? Look at the bigger picture, right? Be grateful. And are you able to solve your problems? If what, like I told you, how you நீங்க உங்க வீட்டுல உங்க ப்ராப்ளம்ஸை நீங்க எப்படி சால்வ் பண்றீங்களோ அதை பார்த்துதான் உங்க கிட்ஸ் கத்துக்குவாங்க. நீங்க உங்களுக்கு ஒரு சின்ன பிரச்சனை வந்துட்டு அதை ஓ மை காட் எனக்கு லைஃபே போச்சுங்கிற மாதிரி நீங்க இது பண்ணீங்கன்னா அந்த கிட்டும் அந்த மார்க்கை வச்சு இல்ல அவங்களுடைய லைஃபை வச்சு அப்படிதான் நினைப்பாங்க. ஸோ யூ ஹாவ் டு லேர்ன் ஹவு டு சால்வ் யுவர் ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ். So how do we follow through? Yes, நான் நிறைய பேருக்கு சொல்றது நான் எல்லாமே பயங்கரமா பண்ணியிருக்கேன் அப்படின்னு. டேக் ஒன் திங், ஒரு திங்க எடுத்து அதை விடாமுயற்சி சொல்லுவாங்க, அதை ட்ரை பண்ணுங்க. நீங்க ஒன்னு ஃபோக்கஸ் 100% ஃபோக்கஸ் பண்ணி ட்ரை பண்ணா மட்டும்தான் உங்களுடைய கோல்ஸை அச்சீவ் பண்ண முடியும். ரைட்? நான் இன்னைக்கு ஹோம்ஒர்க் பண்ண மாட்டேன், இந்த வீக்கோடைய டெஸ்ட் மட்டும் நான் படிக்க மாட்டேன், பட் ஆனா நான் போர்டு எக்ஸாம்ல சென்டம் வாங்கிடுவேன், போர்டு எக்ஸாம்ல நான் ஸ்டேட் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்துருவேன். Is that possible?
No, ma'am.
Definitely not possible. So you have to have goals for every day. You have to goals for 1 year goal. You have to have 5 year goal. You have to have a 10 year goal. Correct? So, but you have to do it every day, consistently. Okay? நாளைக்கு எனக்கு homework இல்ல, நாளைக்கு எனக்கு டெஸ்டே இல்ல, அதனால நான் இன்னைக்கு படிக்க வேண்டாம். That's not how it is, right? So even for adults, okay, today I have nothing to do, so I will be on the phone. Today I have nothing. No, it's not that. So you have to work consistently to achieve your goal, right? So the last C is, how do you control, right? The first C was, you want to say or can I say it? First was connection.
Connection.
Next
Communication.
Communication.
yes.
Confidence and
Control. Okay?
control.
How do I control my strong feelings? I have, I'm very sad. I'm feeling very low. I feel this is the worst life, I've ever had. How do I control my strong feelings? Right? How do I get help? We talked about getting help, right? So how do I get help? What do I need to do? Enhance, I told you, you have to enhance your relationship with your family members, your friends, right? This is the third point is what I was talking about. Coping mechanisms. Coping mechanisms என்ன? நான் எனக்கு ஒரு பிரச்சனை இருக்கு, அதுல இருந்து நான் எப்படி வெளியில வரணும்ங்கிறதுக்கு நீங்க ரெண்டு விதமா கோப்பிங் மெக்கானிசம்ஸ் வச்சுக்கலாம். ஒண்ணு வந்து பாசிட்டிவ் கோப்பிங் மெக்கானிசம், ஒண்ணு வந்து நெகட்டிவ் கோப்பிங் மெக்கானிசம். கரெக்ட்? Clear everyone? Can someone?
Yes, ma'am.
What are some of the positive coping mechanisms?
Yes, ma'am.
See, it can be just talking to a friend. It can be going for a walk. It can be, volunteering somewhere, like I told you, right? So it can be just sitting with your family, correct? So if you're feeling very sad and very low, your mom just comes and hugs you, right, and says it's okay, pathikalam. Will you feel good or will you feel sad?
Sometimes we feel good, sometimes we feel bad, ma'am.
Why will you feel bad when you're feeling very low? Your mom is coming and hugging you. Your dad is coming and telling you, "Paravaala, it's okay. Number next time paathukalam." You should feel good, right? Why will you feel bad then?
Sometimes we feel it, ma'am. No, not like same times.
See that bad.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, but in school, ma'am, some boys are like that, ma'am. They are saying that you are becoming very low. Like that, they are teasing.
They're teasing you, okay?
Some set of
children. Yeah. See, if it is bullying, if you think they are bullying you, that you can always go to your teacher and tell them, ma'am, he's பண்றான், he's making fun of me, he's pushing me, he's hurting me. அப்படியெல்லாம் இருந்தா நீங்க உங்களுடைய கிளாஸ் டீச்சர்கிட்ட போய் சொல்லுங்க, okay? And வீட்லயும் சொல்லுங்க, right?
Yes,
so it's not accepted anywhere, okay? So it can be, sometimes it can be just, writing down. So எனக்கு எவ்வளவு சேடா இருக்கு அப்படின்னா, sometimes we tell, put it down in a book or put it down in a paper, correct? All of these things are positive coping mechanisms, right? So end of the day, before going to bed, if you start thinking or start putting in a paper, I am thankful for all of these things I have in life, or today I have accomplished all of these things. நீங்க 8th ஸ்டாண்டர்ட்ல இருந்து 10th இல்ல 12th படிக்கிறீங்க அப்படின்னா எவ்ரிடே டூ டூ டேஸ் எழுதி வச்சுட்டு இன்னைக்கு இதெல்லாம் நான் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு ஒன்னா பண்ணி முடிச்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் டிக் போட்டுட்டே வந்தீங்கன்னா யூ ஃபீல் வெரி ஹாப்பி எண்ட் ஆஃப் த டே. ஓ வாவ், அவுட் ஆஃப் த 7 I finished 4. Good. Correct? So then we are all positive coping mechanisms. But we have another set called negative coping mechanisms, not only for kids, even for adults. Oh, இது ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருக்கு, அதனால நான் இன்னைக்கு பண்ண மாட்டேன், I'll push it away.
Mom, I have a habit of writing diary. So it helps me to reduce the stress what I'm having.
Okay.
Like what are the problems I'm having, I would write it in the diary.
Down in the diary. That's nice. Right?
Ma'am?
Yeah, there are negative coping mechanisms. I want you to understand what are negative coping mechanisms so that you will not do that. Okay. So procrastination. Okay, appuram paathukalam. This problem is big. This is for adults also, right? Oh, this problem is big. I don't want to touch upon it, so I'll see to it later. So we keep postponing it, right? And wasting time on all the unwanted things because I don't want to do this because it's very difficult, right? எத்தனை பேர் இந்த phone addiction, நிறைய அப்பா சொன்னாங்க இல்லையா, phone addiction. If you're watching reels, if you're watching all these shorts on mobile, that is an addiction. Don't waste your time doing such things. Understand? Yeah. And the other negative coping mechanism is நம்மளே தப்பு பண்ணியிருந்தாலும் we will look ways for blaming somebody else. Because my teacher didn't give marks only, I got low marks. Because of my mother only, I did not study. Because my father...
இதுல வச்சிருக்க எடுத்துறீங்களா question?
Pardon me? Okay. Right, so because my father did not buy this, I did not do my work well. So you comfortably blame somebody else. Blaming is also a negative coping mechanism. And you start lying. நான் படிக்கல, அதனால நாளைக்கு நான் டெஸ்ட் இது சொல்லி கொடுத்துருக்காங்கன்னு அம்மா கேட்கும் போது நான் சொல்லல, இல்லைன்னு சொல்லிட்டேன். So to cover up that lie, the next day if you have a test or an exam, you will cover up, you will not study and you will cover up. So you have to keep lying. So lying is also a negative coping mechanism. Okay, and denying the problem. No, you will not even accept it. There is a problem. First, you have to accept that, right? No, there is no problem. That is also a negative, pushing away, right? And you are another negative coping mechanism is you are either overthinking about it, right? Somebody told, right, in one of the dark side, somebody wrote overthinking was one of the things, right? So we are always constantly thinking about that problem, and we are not able to sleep because of that problem, correct? And over generalization. Nothing, there's nothing. Even if there is a problem, we will just say, oh, only problem with it. Correct? And sometimes hurting ourselves. No, harming ourselves. We are either harming us or we are harming somebody else. Correct? We see a lot of kids throwing things at home and hurting others at home. Correct? Or you're hurting yourself. How many of you punch the wall? Boys, do you punch the wall?
No, ma'am.
No, good. Because there are
punch the wall, kicking the things. Everything.
Punching the wall, kicking the bag, throwing things, right?
Yes,
so all of these are because they are stressed, they are doing this. But is that a good coping mechanism? It is not a good coping mechanism, correct? So these are the two, you should know what is positive coping mechanism. So always you should have coping mechanisms. You can just go sit in the park. That is also a positive coping mechanism. So you should have at least 3 or 4, even for adults, you should have, nail biting is negative coping mechanism, right? So we all have it. So we have to pick and choose at least 3 or 4 so that is going to help us. And we have
just to ask you, ma'am, what happens when people are having negative coping mechanisms? They feel comfortable, but in the long run, why is it harmful? Why should we go for positive coping mechanisms, ma'am?
You want to come out of it, right? So you're going to dwell in the same thing if you do the negative ones, right? So you're going to continuously, and like I told you, they even do self-harm because they thought they've come to a conclusion that, oh, this is what I am. They start believing that I am a waste. I am fit for nothing. So you start blaming yourself. Then procrastination, again, is it going to be helpful in any way? So eventually you're not going to be successful in anything. So you continuously procrastinate. End of the annual exam or whatever exam, if it is a child or that year end, you have not come out of that problem at all. Right? So
punching, the negative coping mechanisms avanga actually problem la vella vara vekkadu. Positive coping mechanism irundana avangala and problem la eventually avadu velila vara mudiyum. That is your
yes, even yes, slowly ஆச்சு வெளியில வரணும் அப்படினா இந்த பாசிட்டிவ் கோப்பிங் மெக்கானிசம் நம்ம பார்த்தோம் இல்லையா, ஒரு 10 to 12 பார்த்தோம். அதுல அட்லீஸ்ட் 3 or 4 ஆவது நீங்க வச்சுக்கோங்க. ரொம்ப சிம்பிள் திங்ஸ். எனக்கு ஒண்ணுமே பண்ண வேண்டாம். ஐ ஜஸ்ட் வாண்ட் டு எனக்கு என் ஃப்ரெண்ட கால் பண்ணி பேசணும், ஐ ஃபீல் பெட்டர். then start doing that. Correct? பட் கேட்ஜெட், நான் போய் மொபைல் பாக்குறது டெஃபினட்டா பாசிட்டிவ் கோப்பிங் மெக்கானிசம் கிடையாது. நான் மொபைல்ல பார்த்தா எனக்கு பெட்டரா இருக்கு மேம். So mobile பார்க்கிறது is not positive. It is always a negative coping mechanism. Okay? Yes. So understanding your roles and responsibilities. So at your age, for kids I'm asking, right? At your age, what is your role now? What is your responsibility right now? எத்தனை பேர் இங்க வீட்டுல நீங்க வந்து பார்ட் டைம் வேலைக்கு போயிட்டு வந்து ஸ்கூல் ஃபீஸ் எல்லாம் கட்டிட்டு இருக்கீங்களா? Yes? No?
No, I don't think nobody has answered.
Yes.
No, ma'am.
No, right? You don't, correct? So your only job is to
learn.
Exactly. You have only one job, right? That one job is to study. But we get angry and annoyed with parents when they say study, though that is your job. Can your father come and tell you, oh, எனக்கு இன்னைக்கு போர் அடிக்குது, அதனால நான் இன்னைக்கு ஆபீஸ் போக மாட்டேன்? Can he tell that to you? No, right? Has he ever told that to you? என்னைக்காவது வந்து சொல்லியிருக்காரா, எனக்கு ரொம்ப போர் அடிக்குது, நான் ஒரு 1 week வந்து நான் ஜாப் போக மாட்டேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்ல முடியுமாப்பா?
No, ma'am.
No. அம்மா என்னைக்காவது சொல்ல முடியுமா, you know what, எனக்கு இந்த 1 week எனக்கு சமைக்க மூடே இல்லை, அதனால லஞ்ச் எல்லாம் என்னால சமைக்க முடியாது, அப்படி சொல்லுவாங்களா அம்மா?
No, ma'am.
Why? She can also tell, right? Because you are telling I cannot study, எனக்கு படிக்கலாம் வேண்டாம் அப்படி நீங்க சொல்லும் போது அவங்களும் சொல்லலாம் இல்லையா?
No.
Why? Because they have understood their roles and their responsibilities. Correct? அம்மா வந்து சிக்கா இருந்தாலும் எந்திரிச்சு போய் உங்களுக்கு லஞ்ச் பேக் பண்ணி கொடுப்பாங்கல்ல.
Yeah, ma'am.
அப்பா சிக்கா இருந்தாலும் he will work, so he has to pay your fees, he has to take care of everything because they have understood their roles and responsibilities. Now your role and responsibility is you are a student, your only responsibility is to read and write your exams well. Correct?
Yeah, ma'am.
And if you don't understand, it is okay, get back to your teacher and ask. No teacher will tell you நான் சொல்லி கொடுக்க மாட்டேன்னு யாருமே சொல்ல மாட்டாங்க. கரெக்டா? Right? So if you, that is your only risk, you have to understand what your role is, what your responsibility is. And you have to learn how to control your thought, your emotions and behavior. Correct? உங்க தாட்னா உங்களுக்கு வர தாட்ஸ், நீங்க அதனால நான் ரொம்ப சேடா இருக்கேன் மேம், அதனால நான் யாரோடய பேச மாட்டேன் மேம், அதனால நான் இதெல்லாம் பண்ணிக்கிறேன் மேம். கரெக்ட்? நிறைய கிட்ஸ் வந்து இப்படி கையில கட் பண்ணிக்கிட்டேன், நான் ஹர்ட் பண்ணிக்கிட்டேன், இந்த வாலை பஞ்ச் பண்ணினேன், அதனால எனக்கு ஒரு சின்ன ஃபிராக்சர் வந்துச்சு. தோஸ் ஆர் ஆல் பிஹேவியர்ஸ். கரெக்ட்? அந்த எமோஷனலால வந்த பிஹேவியர் தான் இது எல்லாமே. ரைட்? So you have to learn how to control your thoughts, your emotions, and your behavior. Okay? So we saw the 5 C's, right? Now we will go to the, I will teach you small, you know, they are very simple 8 steps how you can practice resilience every day in your life. Right? These are very simple ones, but every day you can start doing it, right? So accepting change. Yes, this is what it is, and I need to learn to accept. Right? And learn continuously. It is like எல்லாம் எனக்கு தெரியும், எல்லாம் முடிஞ்சிருச்சு அப்படி கிடையாது. Right? This is for adults also. It's not only for kids. Right? You need to take charge of your life, right? And define the purpose. And you have to learn how to create a balance, right? If you're an adult, you need to learn how to create your work and life balance. And how for kids, you need to learn how to, you cannot watch, நான் 10 minutes படிச்சுட்டு நான் 40 minutes phoneல இருக்க முடியாது, 10 minutes படிச்சுட்டு 20 minutes TV பார்க்க முடியாது. Correct? You need to learn how to, you need to study, at the same time you can have fun also. So you finish your, yes?
We have to learn more than studies, not watch this phone. Phone is adult our minds.
Yes, yes.
For us.
Yes. Yeah, phone is not going to help you. But do you have to play? Yes, you have to go out and play with real people, not with phone, okay? Not with, strangers on the phone. You have to play with real people outside of the house, okay? So you have to cultivate relationships. You are fighting with your parents, go tell sorry to them and have a good relationship with your family members. And you have to have good friends, okay? Reflect and refrain. So these are the... Yes?
Ma'am, because of playing these games like PUBG, Free Fire, ma'am, they're addicted to that and they're doing the same thing in the classes. They can't concentrate in the outdoor games like that, ma'am. And they are causing many bad things. They're learning many bad things.
They're learning many. Okay. Do you have anybody in your class who is doing that?
Yes, ma'am. 8 people are there, ma'am.
8 people? Who does that? Okay. Then you go tell your class teacher that many people are doing this, right? So you don't do it, right? Just because others are doing it. And PUBG is banned in our country, okay? So, so you should not be PUBG, and PUBG is not going to help you in any way, correct? PUBG, PUBG 2 hours விளையாடினா உங்க math teacher வந்து extra 5 marks கொடுப்பாங்களா உங்களுக்கு?
No, ma'am.
No, right? You will not get any extra marks, nothing. You're only wasting your time, right? So if you're not doing it, don't do it. And if that person is your friend, you can tell you're wasting your time. Don't do it. Okay? And if they are not listening, it is okay. You focus on your work. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. And we've come to the end of the session. So you've got your phone number and the other numbers you now going to share mind care numbers. So நீங்க உங்களுக்கு எப்போ ஹெல்ப் வேணும்னாலும், it can be for kids, for adults, for anybody, you can contact us and we can help you, right, in whatever possible.
Yes, and you could tell them, like, for example, in when they want to seek help, when they are unable to overthinking அதே விஷயத்திலே, it may be adult kid, அவங்க டீச்சர் ஒரு சேஃப் பீப்புள், ஒரு பேரண்ட். அதை தவிர அவங்க எப்படி வந்து காண்டாக்ட் பண்ண முடியும், யாரை காண்டாக்ட் பண்ணலாம்?
ரைட், ஓகே. ஸோ உங்களுக்கு உங்க ஸ்கூல்லயே உங்க ஸ்கூல்ல கவுன்சிலர்ஸ் இருக்காங்க அப்படின்னா உங்க கவுன்சிலர்கிட்ட போங்க. ஸோ உங்களுக்கு யாரை வந்து ட்ரஸ்ட் பண்ண முடியுமோ, ஸோ ஐ ட்ரஸ்ட் மை தீஸ் ஆர் தி அதர் 2 நம்பர்ஸ், மைண்ட் கேர் உடைய நம்பர்ஸ். இந்த நம்பருக்கு நீங்க கால் பண்ணி நீங்க வந்து இங்க நிறைய சைக்காலஜிஸ்ட் இருக்காங்க, மெடிக்கல் ஹெல்ப் வேணும்னாலும் மெடிக்கல் ஹெல்ப்பும் எடுத்துக்கலாம். ஸோ கான்டாக்ட் தீஸ் நம்பர்ஸ், கெட் அன் அப்பாயின்மெண்ட், we will help you, right? உங்களுக்கு எனக்கு டிஸ்டர்பிங் தாட்ஸ் அடிக்கடி வந்துட்டே இருக்கு, எனக்கு ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருக்கு, எனக்கு இருக்கவே பிடிக்கல, எனக்கு யார்கிட்ட போய் பேசணும்னு தெரியல, அம்மா அப்பாட்ட எனக்கு பேச வேண்டாம், எனக்கு டீச்சர்கிட்ட பேசணும், என்ன திட்டு வாங்கணும்னு எனக்கு பயமா இருக்கு, டோன்ட் ஹெசிடேட். சரியா? இந்த நம்பர்ஸ்க்கு கால் பண்ணுங்க. they are always here to help you, right?
I will also share your number and these numbers in the chat box for the participants.
Yes, yes. So these are numbers. நீங்க anytime, like I told you, இது வந்து psychological help மட்டும் கிடையாது, medical help also. Dr. Preeti is the one who is heading the department, so she is always ready to help you all. Okay? So I'm telling you, it's not only for kids, it is not only for DAV students and parents, it is for everyone. So whoever is watching this, if you need help, if you have these, disturbing thoughts, if you want, you need help, psychological help, please don't hesitate to call these numbers. Right? If you have any questions, if you have any doubts, please ask.
Ma'am, this is Preeti here. I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So I joined the session midway, so I'm not sure if this is only for kids, parents, because I'm not either of the things. But still, I have a question. So I feel that maybe it will be useful for everyone out there.
Okay.
So I recently came across this quote, which was very nice. I mean, it made me think a lot. So it says the depth of your character is revealed in the way you respond to situations you dislike. So I come across these situations many times when someone talks to me, they are cynical. And sometimes they are right, but many times they are not right because they don't understand what I go through. They just keep giving comments. So how do I handle this in a more positive and calm way? I know I have to do that, but many times I'm not able to. So how do I respond to them in a calm and positive situation and make them understand what I'm feeling? This is my question.
Okay. Yeah. So I think I was talking about this in the beginning or in the midway. So I was telling them, first you need to accept yourself. You need to understand that I am enough. Like sometimes you are wrong, you said that, right? Sometimes they are right. And if you are okay to, accept that, yes, thank you for the suggestions, or if you are okay to thank them and move on, that is okay. But majority of the times when they are wrong, what they think about you, what they comment about you is their problem. You don't have to take it to heart. So when you take it to heart, it is going to be hurtful, right? So sometimes, it happens to me too. It's like it's very difficult, but it's okay. You do the right things and just move on. And if it's a office space, it's going to happen frequently, then you have to learn to ignore some of the things, right? What they think about you is not your problem; it is their problem. Right? Sometimes you can say it in a polite way, you know what, this is hurtful, stop, I would appreciate you to stop it or whatever, and then go.
Oh, thank you.
Right?
Ma'am, how to overcome stage fear, ma'am?
How to overcome stage fear? Okay, how old are you?
I'm 14.
You're 14, okay. So have you been on any stage, or you've never been on a stage?
I dance, ma'am.
Oh, okay. You still have stage fear?
Not for dancing, but for speeches, I get very tensed.
Okay, you get, and that's very natural and it's very normal, right? So when you are in front of so many people, so start very small, right? Start in your classroom, right? So if the teacher is asking you to read, don't hesitate. Take that opportunity and start reading, right? Even that I'm scared. Then take your book in front of a mirror and stand there and start reading. Right? You
Okay,
start
ma'am.
there, you will know, like, am I stammering? Am I confident? Am I okay? Right? So it is okay. You will make mistakes in the first few times, and it is perfectly okay. right? You are
Okay,
there
ma'am.
to learn, right? So you're not there to please anybody. So if you want to come out of it, so take every single opportunity, start at home, start talking in front of the mirror and rehearse in front of the mirror, and then go to the classrooms. And then, it can be an assembly. It can be, something small because you're in school. So you can do that. And then that's what the stage is, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Namaste,
Thank you, ma'am.
namaste, ma'am. Ma'am, this is Neha. Please requesting everyone to share their valuable feedback. We have shared the link in the feedback chat box for each feedback. Please tell them.
Ma'am is shared. Please go to the chat box and please provide your feedbacks there.
Yes, ma'am. And to add to the things which they had put in the first slide as to what are the dark moments, some go through loss of a loved one or family issues. So when there is a loss of a loved one, what is the coping mechanism? Sorry, ma'am. What is the coping mechanism they should use when there is a loss of a loved one? What is the coping mechanism, or how should they come out of those times, ma'am?
I see, loss of a loved one is very difficult, right? And majority of them had written, I lost my father. That was very bold for a longer period of time. So loss of a loved one is extremely difficult. So how do you come out of it? If you are, I'm sure you'll have relatives and you will have people to talk to. And sometimes, you don't want to talk about it to anybody, right? So if there is, grief counseling you require, you think, 2 weeks cycle, 2 weeks after, I'm able to come out of it. Again, you can still call these numbers and get help, right? It's easier that way. Because in the first 2 weeks, it's okay because you have a lot of family members with you and, you are busy with all of those things. And then it's too hard, right? So you should be getting help. And that's easier, right? And it's not that you get and move on, right? You will still have it. But I will always recommend that call and get help, right? So you get counseling. Yes.
Ma'am, you are tell to know. Can you tell how to become learn for us?
How to learn, right? You said you will.
Yeah.
Participants, can you please finish the feedback forms before you exit? Yes. Yeah, that's a request. Okay. So what?
Ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, we should put our own ID, ma'am.
Email ID. Dr. Preeti, do they have to put their? You can type your.
It is optional. They can put their parents' email ID, or it's optional. They can also leave it. It's not compulsory.
Email ID is not compulsory, ma. There's a phone number on.
Please continue, ma'am. Please continue.
Tanige Velu, you have the phone numbers written down?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you please call in that number?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, I will help you.
Okay, ma'am. Which number I have to call? First number or second number, ma'am?
But you can call. They'll come.
If you want to contact Jyoti ma'am directly, the third or the fourth number. If you want to come through the medical guidance initiative, where other counselors may also be there, the first or the second number.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Namaste, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste and
thank you, ma'am.
Namaste and thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Namaste and thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Wonderful session, ma'am.
Namaste, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Somebody has a question. I think somebody's. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Somebody had a
Very
question.
useful.
Thank you.
So we will wait for 5 more minutes, ma'am. Then we will end.
Ma'am.
One person has messaged to you directly. I'll just type it to you directly, and they can, I think, Hayagreev can contact you. He contact your numbers, ma'am. Hayagreev has some issue, so he can contact your numbers. I'll again.
If you cannot ask your questions here, you can contact one of the numbers and we can talk. If it's very personal, I don't want to share it in front of everyone. That's perfectly okay. You can contact the number.
Ma'am, may I ask my question now?
Yes. Yes, you can.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, for me, basically, as I'm in a boys' school for like I'm 13 now, and for like the past 8 years, I've been in a boys' school. And for me, what I've been seeing is like all the boys who are not actually playing those like first person shooter games or like those other online games like PUBG or Free Fire, they actually get like those who play those games, they get more endurance in like the mental side of health, as they don't get more intimidated by other students. But as for me, I don't play more video games more on that side. I play just for enjoyance, like for a few hours, and then I stop it. So for me, for entertainment, I do them, but not for like actually for coping up or any of these things. So how do I actually build up more of my endurance in the emotional side? And how do I actually like stop taking things into my heart? Because if anything that it's hurting or embarrassing, I take things to my heart. So how do I stop doing that?
Okay. And you also told like you play for fun, like a few hours. Is it few hours a day or
Yes.
once a week, or how long do you play?
I play maximum 1 or 2 hours per week. But
Per-
recently I stopped as my term 1 exams have started.
Okay. Okay. So you know when to start and when you know when you.
Yes.
Okay. So
But is that true, ma'am? Like what he says, like endurance is, does endurance build by playing these shooting games, ma'am?
I don't think so. See, that is yeah. So it is not true. So he's 13, so he believes that it happens, right?
Because from my surroundings I learned this. Because those who have played and those who are around me, that I understand. Because most of them who play, they are the most toughest in the school, and they are the most like
See,
intimidating in others. So that's why.
See, you don't have to believe whatever they are talking, right? So it is not true that by playing such games, and first of all, playing PUBG is actually illegal because that game is banned
Yes.
in the country, and you should not be playing it, right? And playing PUBG, will you have endurance? It's not true. You get it? And by doing that, see, if the others are doing it, I'm glad you are not doing any of such things. But if your friends are doing it, and what is the last part of your question? Can you
Ma'am,
repeat?
can you repeat?
Can you repeat your last part of the question? What was your next question?
Basically, it's like
And you
what I've been seeing from others. So basically, it's not like any of them telling me.
okay? You
Because
also told that whatever if it's something hurtful, I take it to my heart was your other
yes,
part of the question, right? Yeah. Can you give an example? Is it at home or is it at school or what is
it's
it?
like basically both.
Both.
Because something if like in school, if the teacher embarrasses me in front of the class, I take it to my heart, and something I get embarrassed at home, or uh, something that anybody scolds me or discriminates, or not like discriminating, but I get thrown into the fault. I take everything to my heart.
Okay.
So
Is it when
how to like move on basically?
Okay, right. See, when your teacher scolds you in front of the class, I know it is very normal, very natural. You will feel sad, and you're going to take it to your heart, right? So the teacher is not going to do that every day. Your parents are not going to do that every day, correct? So one day she might call you or target you and scold you in front of everyone. Maybe because you were doing something in the class, or maybe because you did not do your homework, maybe because you did not perform well in the exam, whatever be the reason, correct? So the next time, I understand it's not easy, right? Yeah, I feel very sad. But when you have friends and when you're with your friends, they say it's okay, da, then you might feel better, right? So I want you to, have such good friends also, one or two at least. And the next time, whatever the mistake was, it should be one of the three or four I was mentioning, right? So you correct that, And the next day, I don't think the teacher is going to scold you or correct you every day, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Same with your parents also. They correct you or they scold you for something you have done. So, some correction. So if you start believing that it is for the good of me, it's, only then I will change. Then you will start feeling better. You will not, you will feel sad when they're scolding you, but you will not take it to your heart and take it, linger there for many, many days or something like that.
Yes,
After the scolding, I'm sure your mom comes back to you and talks normally. Your dad comes back to you and talks normally.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So yes, then you can tell, that was hurting for me. If you tell that, maybe the next time your mom will not repeat that, but she would expect you not to repeat the same thing also.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct?
Just to add to the question and to you as well. So the student was saying that, again, to come to the same point, like the children who are playing this become very tough and intimidating. But I want to know, like, being tough and intimidating, is it real courage, or being kind and empathetic is real courage? What is real courage, ma'am? Like, he feels that these guys play these games, they become very tough, they hit others, they become very dominant. But is that courage, ma'am, or what is it real courage in life, ma'am?
You answer, ma'am. You asked the question, right? Can you answer? Is that real courage?
Sriniket, I think, was asking the question.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that
for me?
Yes.
It's not about physical endurance. It's more about mental endurance and helping others
Exactly.
to get that, basically.
See, but the mental endurance does not come when you play mobile games. When you play games like PUBG, you are definitely not going to, see, they showing that I am powerful, I'm going to come hit, or that is not what the others want, right? That's not power at all. That is not sometimes saying no to such things. Sometimes, what, I would rather be quiet and start helping the others. And mental endurance does not come through playing games. Mental endurance comes with, a lot of learning, a lot of maturity. So helping others is the right thing, and being there for the others. Right? And staying away from such people will definitely help you.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Ma'am?
Yeah?
I have one question. When I think something, it's not happening with done by my brother, I'll shout at him like anything, and my mother shout like, you are mature and you're 7th standard, and your brother is younger than you. How to overcome in that situation?
What do you want to overcome then?
By not shouting and telling them politely.
You shout at your brother or you shout at your mother?
My brother.
Okay, how old is your brother? Your brother is younger than you, right?
Yes.
Okay, so why do you have to shout at your brother? See, sometimes it happens, right? You cannot be very nice all the time. So you shout, something happened, and he's constantly disturbing you. You can tell him politely, right? Nothing wrong in that. But if they are constantly annoying you, you don't directly tell your parents, correct? Rather than you hitting or hurting your brother. But if you start playing with your brother, he will love you more, right? You are like the second mom, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Annoy you, but it is not to hurt you or anything. Maybe he wants to play with you. Maybe he wants to be with you, right? Ask him, what do you want? Do you want to play a game? Right? Let's play a game, right?
Okay, ma'am.
See, if you tell it politely also, see, he's a small kid, right? He will come disturb you the next time also. So you can't tell him, told you politely, right? So, yeah, you don't have to hit him or hurt him or, shout at him. But you can still ask him, if I'm busy, then you can tell I'm busy, I'll come back and play with you. I'm doing my homework, I will come back and play with you. Correct? He will understand.
Namaste, madam. He will not be understanding, ma'am.
Of course, he will not be. He's a small kid, right?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Namaste, madam. I have one question, madam. Yes. How can children cope up with, or how can they handle bullying, madam?
Okay. So, ma'am, are you the parent or are you the teacher?
I am both, madam.
Okay, you're both. Ma'am, bullying should not happen, right? It should not happen in a school setup. And if bullying, and if you are a teacher, you can tell in your class, like, what bullying, what are all the different types of bullying which is happening. And if it is happening to any of you, you can feel free to come to me and talk. Or how do they overcome bullying is, they should have that person who they trust where they can come and tell, right, ma'am? And then the action should be taken also. Bullying is not allowed and bullying should be taken very seriously.
Like my child is in 7th class, so I'm not teaching my child 7th class, I'm taking other classes. So like he is short, right? And now the people are saying that you're short. Then he came to me and asking, madam, mummy, I'm short, they are saying like that, I'm feeling very bad. So I thought, no problem, you're in 7th only, by 10th, after 10th you will your height will grow, I said. So but he has taken that thing in his mind. In his class they are telling that, like that kids are saying, same group children. So that is what I thought, what should I give the best answer?
If it is for one child, I can give you a tip, ma'am. So this helps. If you can tell your child, anytime anybody who comes and tells, oh, you're very short. So ask your child to just say so, S-O, that's all, right? So, a few times they will keep telling the same thing. And if your child only continues, you should not, take it as hard or any of those things. Just say so. And next few times, the kids who are bullying will get annoyed because this guy is not even getting annoyed, right? So
yes,
continue saying so for everything, So they will just leave your son and go to the other person. So, sometimes you should, annoy the other person by not getting annoyed.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
So just tell your son, just keep saying so for everything, for any question. Okay, they'll go to the next level. But as long as they are not physically hurting your child, but if it's physical, then it has to it has to be a serious action has to be taken.
Okay.
If it is verbal, just ask your son to say so and leave that place.
Okay. Thank you very much, madam.
Ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, today this incident happened, ma'am.
Hmm.
In the last period, ma'am, me and my friend were talking about the basketball match when we play PT, ma'am. And we were making some crafts like when there was substitution period, ma'am, because of annual day. So we were making, but I didn't see my friend itself. I made the craft like how he made. So he said that you are a copycat, and he is telling to everyone. So I'm getting nervous.
How old are you? Which class are you in?
Ma'am, I am from 6C, ma'am.
You're in 6th standard. Okay, so I understand, because maybe both of you had the same idea, but he's your friend, right? He should not be making fun of you. You tell, I did not copy, right? I understand, it is hurtful when somebody says you're a copycat, right? So you tell him, I did not copy, this is my own idea. The next time you do it, you do your project, I will do mine, but I am not a copycat. You can tell that politely, but I know when a friend says that, it is hurting, right? You tell him, no, you don't say that to others. I did not copy, you can tell. That's all you can tell. But right? You did not copy, so it's okay. After saying that, you can just ignore.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Ma'am, I have another question, ma'am. Which is best, ma'am, hard work or smart work?
Okay. So where do you want to do hard work and smart work? Is it for subjects, or where do you want it?
Smart work is...
Smart work?
We do smart works in sports, ma'am.
Okay.
Hard work, I do hard work in studies, education.
Okay. Why do you have to hard work there? If you understand the concept, then it is easy, right? You don't have to hard work there, right?
Yes, ma'am, but I can't win in the match like that. Sports, I'm using smart work, but I can't win in that. That's why I'm asking this question.
See, games are right, you will win, you will lose. That is perfectly okay. So, but you have to practice continuously for going into any sport, right? So, it's the same thing with, people get confused. What is smart work in studies? You have to study, you have to work hard, correct? For some math, I have to put extra effort. But for some, I don't get language, so I have to put extra effort in language, right? So, whatever it is, you have to put your effort.
Yes,
and when they say smart work, many people think, oh, I can do some tricks and win, right? So that's not going to work.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yeah.
Ma'am, sometimes my sister beats me very hard, like without no reason. But I don't know what to do, ma'am. Sometimes I beat or scold her. My parents scold me why are you beating she because she is young. What should I do that time, ma'am?
Don't beat your sister. How old is your sister?
Ma'am, she's LKG.
LKG, she's a baby, right? You should not be hitting her, right?
I'm not very hard, ma'am. Little bit only I will hit.
Little bit also don't hit. She's a tiny girl, right? So it will hurt her. She's a baby, right?
Yeah. Ma'am, but maximum I won't beat her. I just scold her or shout at her.
You understand, right? What did she do to you for you to scold her?
Ma'am, like without no reason, suddenly she will come and beat me and run away.
She's trying to play with you.
No, ma'am, she beats hard.
She beats hard? Okay. Then you tell your mom. So, she's hurting me. That is, even if she hits, it's hurting me. So please take care of that. That part you can tell your mom.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. This session was very. I like this session, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Did you fill the feedback form?
Yes, ma'am. I filled, ma'am.
So much.
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
can
Thank
we
you.
end the session, ma'am, or should we wait, ma'am?
So, what do you say?
If there are no more questions, can we end the session, ma'am?
Yes, Preeti.
Thank you so much for that enlightening session, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. This session was nice, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am, thank you for clearing my doubt, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you for this accessible
Clearing
and
my doubt.
important session, ma'am. Thank you.